We were never being boring. We had too much time to find for ourselves. We were never being boring. We dressed up and thought make amends. We were never holding back, worried that time would come to an end.
Hi there, folks. My name is Jennifer Cullen. Have you ever been in a class where you wish the time would end because it was so boring and the instruction was so dry? Well, we don't want to be those kind of teachers, and that's the reason why we want to use multimedia in our classrooms. I found a great website that talks about 12 reasons we should use multimedia in our classrooms, and I thought I'd go over those with you today. The first reason it talks about is multimedia projects motivate students to participate. I agree with this wholeheartedly. I worked in a classroom with a variety of diverse learners. Students came from many different countries, many different cultures, and many of them were from low socioeconomic backgrounds. And they did not do so well with the traditional textbook paper pencil methods, but as soon as I brought the smartboard into a lesson, they were awake and ready and wanted to participate and weren't afraid to come to the front of the room and help me with the lesson. Number 2, multimedia projects integrate all the language arts, reading, writing, listening, and speaking across the curricular areas. I agree with this as well. For example, we would do a lesson on, let's say, African culture, and we looked up the different animals online, and we saw what real lions and real tigers looked like. And then we asked the students to write down about the different characteristics that they noticed. And then we got online again and found an online story, and we read about it, about lions and tigers. And then we had the students get up and tell each other about what they had learned. And so once again, there you go, you've got all those different areas integrating in with each other. Number 3, multimedia projects build collaboration skills for students. Yes, this is one of the best reasons that I think technology can be used in the classroom. For example, jigsaw activities where you have expert groups get online, they research specific topics that are general or specific, and then they come back together and they teach each other about their specific areas of expertise, and then they gain a broad knowledge of a specific topic. Number 4, multimedia projects create real lessons for reading, writing, and revising communication. I saw this when I student taught in the 4th grade classroom. Once again, when the teacher just pulled out some lesson that he found photocopied it from a book that he'd had for 20 years, the students were not interested in writing about those topics. But once we got online and found something that the kids were interested in, then they definitely wanted to write about it and discover it. And especially things like the current events. You could take Haiti, for example, and say, hey, let's write these kids a letter that are in 4th grade and see how they're doing, and get some pen pals going, that kind of a thing. Number 5, multimedia projects give students a larger audience than the teacher and the classroom. This is definitely true as well. For example, let's say I was teaching on dental health, and I wanted to take the kids on a tour of a dental office, but I didn't have the money to do so. Well, you can go online and you can find a virtual tour of a dentist and his dental office, and then it's as if the kids took the tour through the internet, and it's not me just reading a book or whatever telling them, it's somebody else talking, and so that gives them that more broad audience, and they enjoy that. Number 6, multimedia projects require students to analyze sources and think about evidence in new ways. One fun project that you can do online is have the students look for where information is coming from, because there are a lot of fraudulent sites that claim that they're true or whatever. You can have kids take sites and research into where that information is coming from and find out if it's true and then validate it and show how they know that it's true. And kids have a lot of fun with that. Number 7, multimedia projects lead teachers to think about their students, classes, and lessons in new ways. Reflection and revision of teaching strategies naturally evolve with the projects. As with anything else, we definitely do learn from our mistakes as teachers, and I found this to be true when I was using multimedia resources in the classroom. For example, let's say I thought, oh, this will be a great group activity and we'll do it on the smartboard. And then you'd go in and you found out, no, actually it would work better individually. So the next time you teach the lesson, you have the kids go into the computer lab and learn that way instead. Number 8, multimedia projects require higher order thinking and problem solving skills. These projects promote nonlinear thinking and give divergent learners a chance to shine in the classroom. Once again, I agree with this. Many kids don't fit into the worksheet, paper, pencil way of learning, but how will they ever know that they're good at a different method unless we give them those opportunities? For example, letting them act out and make a movie instead of just writing a story in their journal. Let's give those kids a chance to shine and show that they are learning and that they are good and they're smart. They just show it in a different way. Number 9, multimedia projects move teachers from the role of lecturer and classroom authority and into the role of learning coach or facilitator. They create student-centered classrooms. I agree, when I used the smartboard in my classroom, I definitely was more a guide on the side, and students were able to lead the discussion and take it at their pace, because I would let them come up to the front of the room and lead us through, let's say, a website about math, and they would take the time that they needed and the way that they wanted to show the problem done, and then we would talk about it as a class. And I a lot of times learned things from them, so it's definitely a good way to let your classroom be run through your students. Number 10, multimedia projects increase students' literacy and prepares them for the technology-based communication skills required in the workplace today and tomorrow. I agree with that. Again, I taught in a school where many of the kids were from low socioeconomic backgrounds. They did not have computers or internet at home, and so school was it. That's where they got to experiment with technology and got to use it and become familiar with it. And if they wouldn't have had that chance at school, they would have never had the chance at all. Number 11, multimedia projects let teachers address multiple intelligences and learning styles in the classroom. I definitely saw this happening. Many students these days are visual learners because they've grown up with TV and they've grown up with the internet and video games and things like that. So they do like to see what they're learning about. And again, I love the smartboard, but it's true that it worked wonders with many of my students. When they weren't understanding something just auditorily or reading about it, we could look up examples online through the smartboard, and that really helped things click in their minds. Number 11, multimedia projects let teachers address multiple... Oh, sorry, no, we already read that one. We're on number 12. Multimedia projects naturally employ the range of resources and approaches by which most students learn best. I agree with this. Again, like I said, I had many diverse learners, children from different cultures, many children with special needs, and that's one thing that I loved about using multimedia in the classroom. Students could pace things to the speed that they needed. If something wasn't clear, we could go back over it and over it and over it again, and multimedia allows you to do that in your classroom. So those are the top 12 reasons why you should use multimedia in the classroom. My information came from the website www.ezedia.com. I'll put the link here as well so you can look this up if you want. And the author of this article was Dr. Suzanne Cherry, and she's an assistant professor in the School of Education at Francis Marion University. So you can thank her for all that wonderful information. And we will talk to you later.